Hi everyone! Welcome to another pick a card video on my channel. My name is Julie Ann Fay, and on this channel I do pick a card videos and I chat astrology with my stars with the stars. So this video will be available for free access for the first 72 hours on my channel. If you get my email newsletter, you'll get the first heads up about that happening. So make sure you're subscribed to my email newsletter. You can subscribe at juliannfay.com. Then this will move over to my Etsy shop where it will be a pay-per-view offering. So if you are catching this from Etsy or you just didn't catch it in time and you purchased this video, thank you so much. Supporting my spiritual business helps me so very much as a small business owner and a womanpreneur, and it's much, much appreciated. And this is something new that I'm working where I'm doing more pay-per-view videos to help myself have more support to run my channel and build my business. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of that. Also, if you're in one of my membership groups, so if you're in Fearlessly Fairy, you're automatically getting this video for long-term free access. If you're in my Patreon Give Back Fairy tier, you're also getting access to this video without the time constraints. So enjoy. And if either of those membership groups sound interesting to you, you can learn more about those on my Patreon, which is linked in the description of this video. So with that being said, I am going to be recording this video for, I'm calling this What's Your March Vibe? And it will be a pick a card video. So of course you could come back and rewatch this other times when you feel like you want to retune in and see where your frequency is at. But I will be kind of releasing this at the beginning of March, and it happens to coincide also with this new moon in Pisces, which we're going to have at the beginning of March. So I'm sure there will be some things with that that kind of become a part of this. Now, I will say also that, you know, at the time of recording this, I'm recording this for you the last couple of days of February, and there's a major thing going on in the world right now, which is, you know, the war in the Ukraine with Russia invading. I've posted about some of my personal sentiments and reactions to this on my Instagram. I don't think I posted it on my Facebook page, but it is on my personal Facebook page, and it's also on my Instagram. And just, you know, on a very personal level, this event is really affecting me in really like an ancestral trauma type of way, because although I'm not Ukrainian, I do come from an Eastern European heritage, and my grandmother actually was born and lived in Slovakia, and she actually lived on the border of Slovakia and the Ukraine. Well, she lived in Slovakia, but she was very close to the western border of Ukraine. So I do have a really strong love and appreciation and admiration for Eastern European culture. And also my grandmother, when she lived here in the US, she had relatives that were actually living in modern day Ukraine when she was keeping in touch with them. So it's definitely something that's really near and dear to my heart, and has been affecting me on a deeply personal level. I've definitely shed some tears about it privately, and just feel really connected in my heart space to what's going on, you know. So I encourage you to check out, I did share them on my Instagram. I keep sharing things on my Instagram stories there. But I encourage you to check out ways that you can support or donate right now. So I've chosen to donate to animal organizations that are supporting pets, that are you know, either supporting pet parents if they can't take their pets abroad with them, you know, because there's now a massive influx of refugees, Ukrainian refugees that need help. So I've decided to donate to various animal charity causes, and I will put a link to the Dodo article that helped me get some tips on those in the description or comments of this video. So definitely check that out. And I am also, like I said, sharing them on my Insta story and just continuing to share as I grow and learn what I can do to help. I myself have donated to a couple different places. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to track down, you know, how and in what way you can donate. Some of the websites obviously are in Ukrainian, right? But I personally always feel the most comfortable using PayPal. So I've been donating to those where I can do it through PayPal, and ideally, you know, a PayPal email address is all you need for that. And there are a couple that actually set up Patreon pages. So there's a couple that I've joined as a Patreon member to contribute monthly, which also works really well. So, you know, go about it in the way that feels most comfortable to you. For me, animals, you know, being a fairy soul, animals are something that really influence and affects me at a deep level. Being able to be their voice to protect them and to help them. So that's really where I wanted to contribute. Maybe for you, it's something related to that, but slightly different. But please do what you can, even if it's just $5, what you would spend on a cup of coffee. Like that could be a make or break thing for, you know, some of these organizations that really need help right now. So please see what you can do there. And also, I've had kind of a prayer altar set up where I've been intentionally sending love and protection energy to that part of the world. That's another thing you can do, and it doesn't cost a thing to do that. So please kind of tap into what you can do, you know, as a love and light being in a different part of the world to send love to that corner of the world that really needs it. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to take a sip of water here. So with that being said, let's get into this pick a card video. I'm going to show you the decks that I'm using as always, and I will link these in the description if I remember to do so. Sometimes I forget. But we've got Fairy Tarot by Natalia Hertz. We've got Magic of Unicorn Oracle cards by Dana Cooper. Really felt like we needed some unicorn vibes here. This is a new deck that I got. Well, it's not super new now, but it's one that I've been working with. It's really lovely, called Legendary Ladies by Anne Shen. And then a deck that I've also been working with a lot recently, which is also near and dear to my heart, is Mother Mary Oracle by Lana Fairchild. So, you know, I will say that it is a time in which there's a lot of sensitivity. We're all being affected in the world by what's going on. So really working with Mother Mary and the unicorns can also help you with some of that love and light and nurturing vibes. Okay. I've also got my astro dice here to roll for that. And what else do I want to say? I think that's what I want to say there as far as the decks go. I don't feel called to talk too much about the new moon in Pisces because I feel like the energies are just going to come out when I do your reading. But do make sure that you're reading my email newsletters because I do share updates in the text portion at the top of my email newsletters about some of the current vibes. And as some of you know, I do also write a monthly forecast for Aloha Bay email newsletters. I may be transitioning some of that to also be in my email newsletter. So do make sure you're also kind of checking in on that. And of course, if you're an Astro Fairy, you're getting me doing monthly content week to week, going over specific chart in real detail about astrological aspects going on. So that's a really good way to learn as well. So with that being said, and once again, thank you very much if you supported me by purchasing this video. That means the world to me as a small business owner, and I'm so, so grateful for that. So with that being said, I'm going to queue up the 3 piles off camera, and I will BRB. Okay, I am back. Let's get this to focus here. So I actually had 3 cards pop out, which just really organically works out to be a reading for all of us. So I actually wanted to read these cards before I go into the actual pile pick. So we have the goddess Ayin, Inner Strength, who is a really special goddess to me because she's actually the queen of the Fae. Those of you that follow me on Instagram, you may have seen, I don't want to take it off the wall because it's like perfectly positioned, but you may have seen the goddess artwork that my friend Julia Salini did. It's absolutely beautiful and incredible, the artwork she did for this particular goddess. And she's actually releasing a deck, which is coming out later in the spring, where she did all of the artwork for. So definitely check her out. I always am tagging and mentioning her on my Instagram, so you probably already know who that is. But this is a lot about tapping into the energy of the Fae and having strength, okay? So it is in many regards about like the divine feminine and the strength that can be in the divine feminine to manifest, to have courage. You know, the Fae, which I resonate as being from that, you know, lineage, they're all about being stewards and protectors of nature and the environment, you know, and having courage to stand up for the environment and take care of animals and people, you know, animals in the environment, right? So I think that's another important thing in this whole topic too, is like what I was saying in the beginning. What can you do to help animals right now that are in need? And even if it's just sending love to that corner of the earth, because it's needing it, right? We also have new opportunities. Card number 5, declare your life, glimpse a magical doorway. So I feel like this is a really beautiful message about perhaps something more specific with this new moon in Pisces, which is about Pisces relates to imagination and manifestation. So this is actually a wonderful time for us to visualize. It's very like 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands kind of vibe. What can we visualize as calling into our future self? And part of that visualization and bringing things into physical form does also involve needing to cut away things that just are cluttering up our life, right? Remember that Pisces is on the same axis as Virgo. So at the same time that there's this expansion and this imagination and this manifestation quality, there is also a need to kind of cut away what's like dead or dying or old or like not offering that full growth. Just today I was actually picking bits off this cute little plant I have, a couple of flower buds that it fully developed. They bloomed, but obviously it's growing inside. So, not much happened there. And then they kind of wilted. And actually, when the plants have like those wilted flowers, they're still putting energy into the wilted flowers. So it actually helps you or helps them. They call it deadheads. It actually helps to pick off those kind of dead flowers because the plant will continue putting energy and resources into them when actually like they would be better suited to kind of just have it be full on taken off so they could bloom and just kind of grow from green stem anew. So I do see this as an energy of, it's also kind of giving me some Fool card vibes because look how he's kind of on the precipice, right? And then the unicorn's like, follow me. So I think that there is this real like new beginning, fresh start kind of energy here. And I think that notwithstanding what's going on with the world events, which I talked about before, just kind of on a general different note, I think that moving into the space of March and onwards, we're going to start to really feel this fresh energy because we will be clearing the post shadow of Venus retrograde in March. The beginning of February was challenging. And then as we got into the end of February, things have gotten better astrologically, although right now we are in some tricky aspects with Mars and Venus squaring Pluto and Venus conjuncting Pluto. Not Mars and Venus squaring Pluto, Mars and Venus conjuncting Pluto, okay, which is quite intense. And they're, of course, together. So there is a lot of dynamics going on with that, secrets and kind of things being purged from like the depths. As we go into March and we actually have Mars and Venus move into Aquarius, we're going to notice a shift and we're going to be able to look back and reflect on the past several months and what this Venus retrograde really was doing for us. So I think we're going to really feel more of this like Fool vibes in a good way with this kind of fresh start energy here. But right now we could also do some good work by decluttering and kind of clearing out the fragmented energy that might be in our life that's blocking us from our manifestations. Just today, I was like looking at, because I have a whole project management board now as part of this new career thing I'm doing, moving forward. And there was like one thing I had on there in a particular list that was like, I have this one list that's like in the works, and there's a couple of projects that are like really active on that list. There was one though where I was like, yeah, a couple of weeks ago we talked about doing this, but nothing has really happened with it. It would be a really small little thing. So I moved it like way off to the side, in kind of my like dead zone list, which is where I put things that I'm kind of eyeing up that like either they're going to be not going to happen or like just not the right time or something. And I felt such a sense of relief of like, oh yeah, because now I've cleared space for the new manifestation to come in. That is something that would need my time, energy, and attention, right? So it's like that kind of vibe. Okay. We do also have from the Mother Mary deck, card number 44, Our Lady of Charity. And I was just like, this is so perfect in light of what I was talking about at the beginning. Okay. So I am going to read from the guidebook for this one. I feel like this pick card's going a little bit differently because, like I said, I'm doing some new vibes with this. So I'm totally happy to do a little mini reading for us all at the beginning. So we have card number 44, which is Our Lady of Charity. And it says, I call upon my strongest children to aid those in need. I will empower your purpose and act through you. My powers are vast enough to keep you safe and protected no matter where you may be. Fear not and maintain your focus on me. I shall guide you, my beloved. And it says, being a healer is not always a professional choice. Sometimes we are simply healers in how we are in the world. And sometimes those with a particular ability to love the Divine Mother are asked by her to be present in particular environments in need of healing. Those environments are often the darkest ones that are most in need of her light. They may be toxic office environments or judgmental families trapped in fear and shame. Or the environment may be a relationship with a person that is in need of loving affection. Far from becoming a martyr or victim, a healer, even if one doesn't know one is a healer in that situation at first, will benefit from allowing the mother to work through him or her in these circumstances. The benefits might be material support or opportunities to learn or experience something new, but they will always include spiritual development. We may have to learn how to stay focused on the love of the Holy Mother when all around us seems crazy with fear. We may have to learn how to love ourselves and not take another's difficulty with love personally. We may have to learn how to see that another's judgments have everything to do with them and not necessarily anything to do with us at all. We might learn strength, compassion, incredible tolerance, and great trust in such situations. This story speaks, so there's kind of a story that goes there. The story speaks of her grace, her power to respond so helpfully when we pray for her for protection and assistance with sincere trust. In her grace, when you are entrusted with an act of charity, no matter what surrounds you, be it evil or despair, negativity or fear, if you focus on prayer to her, you shall remain unharmed, dry even in the ocean. In this, Our Lady of Charity leads us towards enlightenment so that we can help the human race live more lovingly upon the earth with reverence and respect. It does go on and on. If you're really interested in reading more about Mother Mary, I highly recommend this deck. And like I said, I'll link it below. The links I put below, some of them, it depends where they're sourced from, but if they're an Amazon link, I usually can generate that as an Amazon affiliate. And that does, if you purchase it through my link, help support my business. So I see this as an energy of really a reminder about the power of prayer and a reminder about our abilities as all of us being stewards of light on this planet. If you're watching this video and you identify as a steward of light, hopefully you do, that we have an ability to call on Mother Mary to help, right? Call on Mother Mary to, in fact, we'll just do a prayer together now, so I want to invoke the loving presence of Mother Mary to bring her blue cloak surrounding the women, children, animals, people of all forms in need in the Ukraine right now that need her loving grace, kindness, and compassion, and her ability to enact miracles. May she provide a protective hug and protective miracle worker to the people, places, and things that desperately need her help right now and need her warmth, love, and compassion. May her presence be felt, seen, and heard in all of the ways, places, spaces, and things that it can be received and of benefit to right now in all ways in that portion of the world. Aho. So that was a beautiful prayer. Did not plan that. It was super channeled. So taking some time to call on Mother Mary, invite Mother Mary into your prayers. She has I've been working with Mother Mary as an Ascended Master for years. And it's kind of poetic. I'm working with her again now because I worked with her quite strongly several years back when I was at the start of a particular journey. And now I'm kind of like on the other tail end of that journey with this one particular thing. So it's interesting, like I'm feeling called to work with her again, and she has this very strong, warm, and nurturing presence, but she also can be assertive and fierce as she needs to be. So don't be afraid to speak up and be a steward of prayer and love and compassion in the spaces and places where you feel like you can do it, and really call on Mother Mary to help you with the prayers that you're doing right now, because she will help. Just be open-minded to the fact that the prayers might not happen or align in the way you think. They could happen maybe in like a slightly creative or different way than you think. So be open to that as well. Okay. So with that being said, I love that reading for us all. Let's get into the pile pick. I did also pull out another little deck, the Secret Garden deck, which is by Jessica Lee, L-E. And then this is actually a set of cards that help with anxiety. This is from a company, or a one-woman company called Healing Notes, and I really adore her. I've purchased her affirmation cards, and I've also worked with her workbook that she has. So I may pull from that as well when we get to your pile pick. So these are the cards for pile 1. As I always like to remind people, make sure that you're in a positive, grounded, and centered space when you're doing this pile pick. You don't want to be using this reading when you're like frantic and like desperately like managing 6 different things. Come back to this video at a later time when you feel more grounded and centered, okay? And use this as an opportunity to check in with your intuition. So the focus question I had for this video is, what's your March vibe? Okay, so the intention of these cards is to give you a window into March and the energies that could be working with you for March, or, you know, just things you need to be aware of, okay? All right, pile number 1, these are the cards for you. And once again, they'll all look the same from the back. So you're using your intuitive senses to help you decide. So using your hand chakra, using your clairsentience, which one feels right, clairvoyance, do you see it circled in your third eye, all that good stuff. All right, so that is the energy of pile 1. I rushed through the process about how to do the pile pick, but those, I know some of you are OG subscribers where you've watched my videos many times. So you know my kind of like pitch on that. But if you do need more practice, definitely feel free to check out. I have like hundreds of videos on this channel. So you're welcome to watch another video and practice. All of the videos, even though they might say a particular time, are really timeless, you know, because energy doesn't apply to time and space. So this is the energy of pile 2, okay? And this is the energy of pile 3. It's funny, I thought this was like, I don't know what this is supposed to be. Oh, I know what it's supposed to be. I thought it was like a chicken drumstick for a second, but it's actually supposed to be like, I think like an Indian guitar or something there. It's just funny. I thought it was chicken drumstick. I'm like, what the heck is that doing on it? Okay, so those are the 3 piles. Do make sure that you, if you're just rushing to this part of the pile pick, please make sure you watch the beginning, because I talked about some very important things. And I also did a collective reading for us all with a couple of cards that came through. So with that being said, this is the right place now to go to your timestamp to watch your specific pile pick. And I'm going to roll into pile 1's reading. All right, so pile 1 peeps, these are the cards for you. Let's see what we've got going on. Like I said, I'm also going to supplement with, I love this. I was drawn to pile 1 and also pile 2, so I'm curious to see kind of like what's aligning there. I'm also going to pull from these Secret Garden cards, just an extra focus message for pile 1 peeps here. And that popped out right away. Good. All right, let's start with that. That's a beautiful one there. So we have relax, delight, and powdered gold sunshine. Okay, it's not really focusing. There we go. Delight and powdered gold sunshine. What's really interesting is that when I was looking at it on the screen, I don't know if it'll appear this way for you guys, but this almost reads out like the word, it's obviously mixing matching a letter or two, but I almost see the word blog in that. So there might be something here where there's something you could read online, which might provide you with some soothing energy. In fact, just before, I discovered this news site based out of the UK that's called positive.news. It's literally, the URL is positive.news. So you might want to check that out. Obviously, you know, it's important to be staying up to date with world events. And I myself have been checking like CNN updates for what's happening. Sometimes it's definitely triggering my like trauma system. So I've been trying to just do a practice of like, as I consume that information, I balance it with something positive and loving. So I'll watch like a dodo video, like an animal rescue video after it. And it helps me kind of balance in my brain, my perception of the world and the universe, to be reminded that there is also good going on in this world. So there could be something here where just kind of making an intentional practice to bring in some of that kind of positive good news energy could be really supportive here. Now I'm drawn to this Mother Mary card. So we have Our Lady of Divine Presence, card number 14. Okay. And I'm going to check in the guidebook, because the guidebook with these cards is exceptionally robust, I should say. But to me, this actually kind of complements this a little bit, because it's talking about being present, right? Being in the present moment, making decisions from a place of empowerment and peace and just present power. You know, there's a new deck I've been working with for a while, and one of the cards in that deck is present power, which is just a reminder. And I think in the card, it's like he's standing there with like two different kind of like leashes, and like they're two different lions, you know? So it's just a reminder of like, when we are in the present moment, that's actually the best place of power for us to make a decision from. Not being in the past, not being in the future, just being present, centered in the now, making decisions from a space of now. Okay. So let's see what we've got from Mother Mary here. So it says, Our Lady of Divine Presence, you've been preparing to receive me, opening your heart and clearing away past shame and doubt. You have been asking for the divine light to be with you, and I tell you now, I am alive within you. Your wish to serve the world, to be blessed by my light so that you can assist others, is granted. As you open your heart and mind to me, your every touch becomes my touch. Your loving gaze holds the light of my own eyes within it. My grace lives in you, flowing through you into the heart of the world. Our Lady of Divine Presence brings us an answer to all these questions. She appears at a time when we are receiving more of the living divine, and our bodies and our lives are changing as a result. The more we continue to surrender into her through trust, the more this can continue to unfold, and the more her grace is given permission to flow into us and through us. This benefits not only others, but also the Divine Mother and us too. This oracle comes to you in confirmation that you are opening up to living divine presence, and it is having an effect on you in your life. Perhaps you are at a point in your life when a path is opening up and taking you in a different directions to what you expected. Perhaps you want to know if this is divinely orchestrated and should therefore be trusted and followed. So, you know, this is saying you might be considering any of a number of paths, you know, whether it's like starting a new yoga practice, new meditation, or even something bigger like a career path or something there. And this is saying to really just trust and open up to the wisdom and the love that Mother Mary can provide. So like surrendering into that. And the affirmation they have here, or the prayers: Our Lady of Divine Presence, your light lives and dwells within me. You are in every cell of my being, and my heart opens to you like a flower to the golden sun. May your presence touch every aspect of my life and all with whom I come into contact, like a golden wave of love, bathing the entire world with your consciousness. Once again, if you skip the beginning, not good, please go back and rewatch from the beginning, okay? Because I do offer a prayer with Mother Mary, and I talk about some things there that are really important. But I am getting this message here about that golden energy that came up twice now. So you might want to work with the color gold, bringing in more gold into just like, whether it's in your aura, visioning a golden sphere of light, working with, you know, more goldeny crystals, working with Ganesha, just working with things that inspire that like golden energy, even just in nail polish or makeup too, you know, bringing in that kind of golden energy to remind you of like that shimmery type of vibe, you know. And there's a lot of powerful energy in this card. And I feel like this deck works in a way that's not as like archetypal and direct as like the tarot is. It's more of this like, which is very Mother Mary, this like gentle but poignant but like really strong encouragement and nurturance of like, I'm here kind of vibe. Okay, so yeah, good stuff there. Now we do have Artemis Independence, and Artemis is definitely a goddess that I work with also a lot, because she is, to me, really linked to being a steward of the divine feminine, and she's also a very independent woman. She literally is like the goddess of the hunt and the night, and she's also a protectress of animals. So this also kind of ties into what I was talking about at the beginning about working with, you know, Mother Mary, working with Artemis to help protect animals right now. And whenever I pull this card too, it also reminds me of just like pursuing your own path and having courage in the path that you're pursuing for yourself. I know that's something that I've really had to learn and I'm still learning. One of my really like lifetime messages is about pursuing my own path and being independent. And I do feel like there is a really strong journey that's unfolding here because we do have the Page of Wands, okay, which is about enthusiasm for a new path, a new journey that we're on. And this might be a journey of independence in some type of way. Now, that might look really different for the different people watching this. For some of you, that could be becoming newly single. For some of you, that could be kind of leaving a job and kind of going more on your own with your career. This could be changing house or location or community that you belong to, or just taking up a new hobby or joining a new club that maybe you're kind of feeling like it's very new to you. So this is just overall, though, a really strong kind of nurturing and protecting energy here about this new path that's unfolding. And we do have Ace of Wands. So you do feel very passionate about this new path. Ace of Wands is like that spark of passion and inspiration. So having Ace of Wands and Page of Wands together is just really showing that this might have started as like an original spark, and now it's kind of going into more of like a path that's unfolding. It's not quite at King of Wands or Queen of Wands status yet. That's going to take a bit more time to develop, but the initial spark has now kind of moved into at least a journey and a path that you're following, which is really great. And we do have card number 1, your personal unicorn. Bathe in pure love, stay open to unicorn magic. So working with that part of you that can be innocent and pure, that's kind of like Pisces in its shadow form can be confusion, guilt, overabsorption of energies and emotions. But Pisces in its higher octave and its loving form is that childish enthusiasm for love and oneness. So don't feel like, even when you're on this path and you're tapping into courage and strength and passion, don't feel like you have to lose that childish enthusiasm. Like I myself, super boss babe status now, like I have my spirituality business. I've launched a second business now, which some of you probably saw in my email newsletter. Technically it was a relaunch of the second business. And I definitely am in like super like boss babe Capricornian mode. I'm not a Capricorn, I'm a Virgo, but I do have a lot of 10th house energy, I won't say. But then I also have nights and days where I need to color in my unicorn coloring book, so I think this is just a reminder about embrace all parts of yourself on this new path. And there might be parts of yourself that are more tender, that are more vulnerable, that really want to work with this unicorn energy. And Diana Cooper always talks about how we have like a personal unicorn and we have a personal dragon guide. She actually has like guided meditations you can buy or tap into from her website. So definitely check into that if you're looking for more. But let me actually read from the guidebook a little bit here on this one. So we have, and it's funny too, because I feel like even just the way I'm doing this reading and also just kind of the energy that I feel coming out of me as I'm recording this video is very like soft and gentle and nurturing, which is very Mother Mary and is also kind of Pisces in a way, so I feel like the energies that are coming through here from March are a lot more about connecting with Mother Mary and that nurturing part of us, that inner child part of us that needs love and attention and sometimes just needs to be witnessed for its vulnerabilities, So it says, connect more deeply to your personal unicorn. Find a place where you can be quiet. Close your eyes and breathe pure white light into your aura. Mentally invoke your unicorn. Sense or see a magnificent white horse radiating a horn of spiraling light in front of you. Reach out and stroke it. It bends its head and touches your heart with its horn of light. Feel your heart blazing with love, and now it touches your third eye. Sense the light pouring in. It may have a message for you. Relax and listen. Thank your unicorn for coming to you. Affirmation, my unicorn is with me. So this is something for sure you could do with your eyes closed. I couldn't close my eyes because I'm reading it to you guys, but and like I said, she has more work with connecting with your unicorns on her website, on in various places. So feel free to check that out. I did also get a second unicorn card for this pile, and we had card number 2. Pure intention, find clarity, surrender your ego. And this is a very well shuffled deck, okay? So it's interesting here because we do actually have 1, 2. And in a sense, this is kind of what this is saying as well. 1, 2. It's not the 2 of Wands, but it is certainly a next step beyond the Ace of Wands. So I actually feel like that's also part of your message here, is that you are stepping forward on this new path. You're now past the phase of it being that initial spark, that initial idea or inspiration. And now it's like actually into formation, right? There is also a need though to honor that it's step by step. You know, we're not, for people that pick this pile, we're not going from like 1 to 10 here. We're just focusing on like, okay, I've started on this path. I've got the initial idea. Now I'm going to the next step. And then from that space, okay, I'm at this step. What's my next step? Right. And then from this space, what's my next step? So kind of nurturing ourselves, nurturing our inner child through that process of taking things step by step on this new journey and this new path. And using the power of intention to also get clear on what we want to do. So with this card, I'll also scan from the guidebook for this guy. And it says, dedicate yourself to achieving your goal with integrity, honor, and kindness. Surrender your ego and make sure your motives are totally pure. When you let go of your desire to be right and your judgment of others or yourself, you open up to the beauty of the journey. As we approach the new golden age, the opportunity for enlightenment and ascension is greater than it has ever been. The universe may place challenges and tests in front of you, and you must pass them to reach the top of the mountain. However, your light is bright, so your unicorn is stepping forward to help you on your way. Ask it to guide you and impress you with the choices that will keep you firmly on your highest path. It will increase your desire to do what is for the greatest good and nudge you towards your true destiny. Keep your eyes firmly on your goal and you will succeed. When you choose this card, unicorns are reminding you that you have everything you need within you. Affirmation, my unicorn lights up my path and I walk it with integrity. There is also a lot of deep blues in this card, okay? So this is a lot of third eye energy and also throat. For me, the throat chakra though is like very pale blue, almost like sky blue. And then this deep, deep blue, that's the third eye, but you could work with both throat chakra and third eye with this. But yeah, for those of you that pick this pile, I get this like gentle encouragement to keep going, but to remind yourself that sometimes you're going to have to take things step by step. And that partially you're going to want to have that vision of like, okay, what are all the steps and how am I going to get there? But more so it's about asking for what you want, right? So like, for example, with this second business that I relaunched, I had the idea to kind of, yes, this is what I'm going to do. Now I'm on the path. I have steps that have been manifesting, but now it's like, okay, I've got that intention, that clear goal of what I want to do with this in order to achieve other goals. So I've kind of got that framework, that goal in mind. And it's me just focusing on that goal and being open-minded to how that goal kind of falls into place, and also being patient with the process of it occurring step by step. I might not manifest that goal in one loop, right? I might not manifest it in 1 month's time. It might take, a little bit of time there. So there is kind of this gentle encouragement about taking things step by step here too. Okay. Lastly, let's get a roll from the Astro Dice for you, pile 1 peeps. This is going to be a longer video because I much time at the beginning and I did that other reading. We have Sun in Aries, okay, in the 8th house. Really cool energy here. The Sun in Aries in the 8th house. So this is like a super strong, it is actually very Ace of Wands, Page of Wands. I am initiating in my power to move forward here. The 8th house is a Scorpio ruled house. It relates to intimacy, it relates to clients, it relates to our energy that's exchanged with others, so I know this mashup, I can super relate to this. So this is about taking energy, having initiative to move forward with what you're passionate about. 8th house being Scorpio is also about things that we want to attract, that we want to have energy exchanges with, okay? So even though things, I think the astrodice are trying to say that even though things might appear like a little slow in this new path, and that you're wanting to maybe accomplish more steps of it because you're very driven and you have a lot of desire there, the passion and the drive that you have will follow it through, will carry you through all the steps. So even when you have that kind of like sadness, or your inner child is like kind of throwing a tantrum about stuff because it's like, I want it now, this to me is just showing that there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of drive for this new path, and you will get to the goals that you want to get to. You will get there. There is just a need for kind of combining that nurturing energy to oneself with that intention setting, okay, and really bringing in that kind of pure light into this path to just keep going step by step, bringing each step into place one after the other, and you will get there. I see the strength is there in the astrology and the astrodice, okay? So beautiful messages for you, pile one, sending you so much love and light. If you did not purchase this video and you caught it in the free version, I'd love if you are welcome to / I would love to. If you are welcome to / I would love it if you felt called to leave a donation. That's always appreciated and received with a lot of love and thank you. And if you did purchase this video, thank you so very much. And do make sure that you're following me in all the spaces and places. So make sure you favorite my Etsy shop if you haven't done so already. You can follow me on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and you'll get, in theory, you should get, you can hit the notification bell and you should be alerted when a video goes up. But especially if you're on my email newsletter, that's like the best place to be for updates, because I also share about new blog posts, sales going on in that email newsletter, and they go out twice a month. So they're not like extreme with how much they go out. Okay. So that is pile one, sending you guys so much love and light. All right, pile two peeps. These are the cards for you. Let's get into it. Pile one had a really lovely reading. As I said, also with pile one, if you just skipped right to this particular pile pick, please make sure you go back to the beginning, because I did talk about some really important stuff. I also did a channeled reading. I don't know why I was trying to say that. I also did a channeled reading for all of us, okay? And that was very powerful as well. You guys might have some throat chakra clearing going on, because I've had like a lot of that since starting to work with your pile pick. Let me also pull for you from my Secret Garden cards here. But I'm already starting to kind of notice a theme from the last pile to this one. I see kind of what the vibe is going on here about. It's just different variations or different layers of that energy, that story. I guess you guys got two cards here. We have beauty, dare to be tender and strongly vulnerable. And then we also have rest, slow down. You don't have to solve everything today. So good. So this does complement a little bit of pile one, okay? It's funny too, this was a pile, so I kind of picked pile two, but I also was drawn to some things from pile one. Of course, I can resonate with every pile because I'm channeling them, but I did actually put kind of a marker by pile two. So it's just funny that like, I was just thinking right before I started saying this, like, oh, like, am I going to do that tonight as well? And then like this card came up and it's like, yeah, you can temper it if you want, but so, also, if we put these together too, it's literally beauty rest. Okay, so this could be a message for some of you that maybe you're not getting enough sleep. I know I went through this. Thursday night into Friday. I mean, I struggle with sleep a lot. It's definitely one of my difficulty areas, and it made my day so much harder not getting enough sleep. Now, sometimes we don't have control over not getting enough sleep. We have things going on in our housing environment with our kiddos, with our fur kiddos, that is affecting our ability to get sleep. In my case, it was, a bunch of things with that. And then it could also be us mentally. We're having trouble shutting down and, shutting ourselves off to go to sleep and stuff like that. So sometimes the ability to get sleep can be slightly out of our control, and we don't get a perfect night of sleep every night, But when we do invest in sleep and good sleep hygiene and giving ourselves the chance to catch up on sleep or make sleep a priority, it does give ourselves an ability to not only get our beauty rest, right? But also to feel like the world is kind of like a more beautiful place again. I remember Abraham Hicks saying that, if you're like in the vortex all the time, you wouldn't need sleep. But the thing about sleep is that it helps us get plugged back into the vortex. It makes it easier because we've kind of recharged our souls because we've spent some time outside of like the 3D realm by getting our sleep. So it's sort of like a helpful shut off valve for us from the world to process things and go inward and then come back out. And when we don't give ourselves enough time of that, it's sort of like it all rolls into one, and we don't really get the break that we really need from the 3D world. Okay. So there's definitely an important message there. Now, we do have here Our Lady of Becoming, card number 3. And I do see you guys working at something in particular. We're going to talk about more of that with what I see in the cards here. But let's get from the Mother Mary guidebook some words related to this card. So it says, "My beloved child, you are a divine flower preparing to bloom. You belong in the divine garden and you will blossom into radiance. I have declared it and it will be so. You shall thrive and be nourished into life. Your uniqueness and beauty shall not be hidden from the world, obscured by veils of fear and shame. I am the holy hand unveiling your secret light, that it may pour forth the grace that heals the world. This is your destiny and it will be." So it says that, let's just go into this next paragraph here. So, even if you consider yourself an open book, so to speak, you may sense that within there is something more of you yet to be. It may be a role that you are yet to fulfill, perhaps that of a lover, a spouse, a parent, a teacher, a healer. Maybe a talent that you sense within you that you have not fully developed yet for any number of reasons. It might even be a feeling that you're meant to live or work in another country. And it kind of goes on about that. It might even be that you sense a version of yourself that is more confident, expressive, honest, without shame, and lovingly accepting and wise. This oracle comes to you with a message of grace and divine blessing from Mother Mary. Yes, beloved, it is time to believe, to act with a sense of inevitability rather than hopeful fantasy. This is not a time to hold back and compromise on what is possible, but to surrender the how to the Divine Mother and allow her to assist you in becoming what you are deep within. No matter whatever you feel that this becoming is spiritual or mundane, anything that fulfills your heart is important for your own soul destiny, whether it seems obviously spiritual in nature or not. No one can live your destiny for you. You have a role and a purpose upon this earth that cannot be replaced. We all must become what we are, as fully and completely as our heart can dare. Mother Mary asks that we call upon her to become all that we are through her grace and guidance. So if you pick this pile, just saying, you might want to watch some pile 1, because there was some kind of similar vibes a little bit there in pile 1, although I see yours is a little bit deeper in some ways. But this is just a beautiful card that's a reminder of like Mother Mary is supporting you with this transformation of this new, bolder, more seen version of yourself. I know I can like super relate to this, raising my hand. Mother Mary is there cheering you on and supporting you to be more seen and heard in this new path, this new thing, this new person, place, or thing that you're pursuing here. Okay. And also just a reminder that it is a process of becoming. Okay. I think this is like a really key word here, becoming, because we did have these 2 cards here about beauty rest, saying that yes, you are in the process of becoming with this new path, this new persona, this new thing. But also it's very important for you to be recognizing that it's a process of becoming, right? It's an unfolding, and that it's okay for you to take some extra hours of sleep a particular night as part of this process. Like, you don't have to be going hard at it so extreme every day. You can kind of balance that with some of the self-care vibes here. Now, I will say, just speaking as someone that's been like hardcore hustling, so I'm like totally resonating with this. And this was the pile I picked actually. a lot of that also has been spurred on by the energies of Venus and Mars in Capricorn for so darn long. Okay. So Mars moved into Capricorn in, I believe, January, or no, end of January was when Mars moved into Capricorn. But Venus has been in Capricorn for months now. Venus moved into Capricorn in, I believe, November. So November, December, January, February, and then it clears it in March. So as a result of the Venus retrograde, we will, by the time it clears that space, have spent literally 4 months, okay, 4 months, a third of a 12-month cycle, a third of a year, with Venus in Capricorn. So there has been a lot of, and Venus relates to pleasure and values and relates to many things, our relationship with money, our relationship with, all kinds of stuff. So having Venus be in Capricorn for so long has meant that our pleasure principle has been really strongly focused on all things Capricornian, business, money, creating structure in our life, right? And you will know what this is affecting for you because this energy has been in that one place for so long, right? So I think that's been a little bit part of the vibe, has been this like hustling energy. But I think we'll find as some of this energy starts to kind of temper out and go into the other signs that you'll start to find it getting better and better for you to balance that like hustle energy with other needs that you have. Okay. And I do see kind of this like up and up energy here in the other cards because we have, I'm not sure if that's, I think it's an H. I'll see in a minute in the guidebook. But this is Mahu Ascension. Okay. So yeah, it's literally that like going up a path, and you have the card here of create your vision, which is literally the unicorn kind of going up this very specific path. Okay. What do I want to do here? I want to get clarity on this goddess. So we have, oh, it's Mazu, it was a Z. Sorry about that. Okay, so it says origin Chinese, Mazu. Just as goddess of the sea, Mazu guides sailors home from rocky oceans, she's guiding you to rise above the chaos of your life and situation to find your way back to your true self. So in this, in a way, it's like she's holding that lantern. So there is almost like this hermit vibe in a way with this card. I'm also kind of getting some Hierophant vibes as well for some reason. But this could be that like perhaps you have been kind of working this path of becoming as kind of like a solo light, a little bit more behind the scenes or in the dark. You have had to be your own kind of lantern self, right? Or someone has been helping you with that. Maybe someone, so that's what I'm kind of getting is either hermit vibes or Hierophant vibes, depends kind of your situation. It could be that you've also had someone that's been that light to you, that has been that guiding, lantern to you, guiding and helping you along this way. Okay, maybe you've been kind of the primary lantern light and you've had other people step in and sometimes be that lantern light for you. Could be a little bit of both. But I see this as like, there has been this process, this journey that you've been going on to this path of becoming. And this light, there is light that is illuminating the way. Okay. And with this create your vision card, do what makes your heart sing. You are being nudged forward. Okay. And this is card number 3. So there is literally this path that's unfolding, right, towards deeper journeys ahead and like mountains, so good. So, and the way that I pull these cards is like literally she's looking at that as well. So we just have a lot of confirmation from like multiple parts of this reading about, yes, you are on this new path of becoming with this person, place, thing. I know for me, I'm strongly relating to this with a career track, which has been a long time coming to get to this point of clarity and just passion and momentum all in alignment. But there is energy here. There is a path that you are being the light to follow it through. Okay. I also feel like there are people that are at times stepping in to give you light, to guide you on this path, and that it is a process of becoming. It has been perhaps a long time coming. And maybe now that it's starting to like move a bit more, you're like, oh, I'm going to give it all I got. And this is just a reminder here that this is going to be a path for some time here. So allow yourself to take breaks as you need to, because this path is not changing or going away anytime soon. You're on this new path now, And I see here again being reinforced in the tarot about kind of this like full kind of spectrum energy here, because we have 4 of Pentacles and we have 10 of Pentacles. Pile 1 had this a little bit as well, because they had some energies with wands that were like that. So theirs was a little bit more with passion. Okay. This for you guys is about Pentacles energy. So this is about physical, tangible results. Okay. And we have 4 of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles. So, again, going from kind of like a lower number to a bigger number here. So showing an improvement along the path. I personally really like 4 of Pentacles, this card. Sometimes I feel like people give it a bad rep, but I like this card a lot. I think that there's nothing wrong with saving, right? Savings is a very important and healthy thing to learn how to do. And I also think that the 4 of Pentacles has an added message, which I always feel like it has this added message of like, it's okay for you to say no to things, like if you're at capacity, it's okay for you to say no. If you get the vibe that like you don't want to take that on. And I think the 4 of Pentacles kind of shows us that it's like, well, I've got these resources. At least this is how I relate to 4 of Pentacles. I've got these resources, or I have this energy in place, and I can tell that this person, place, or thing would just be taking up too much of my energy. So I'm not going to really tap into the vault of energy for them, right? I'm going to kind of wait for something better maybe to come along. But either way, this also is a message too about maybe some of you are, you're working on this new path. Maybe you're really focused on your financial health right now, or just trying to get to a place where you feel more secure financially, you feel more stable financially. I can relate to this as well. So I feel like this is just a really strong message of encouragement that you absolutely will get the abundance, the resources you need to feel like you're financially filled up. And also you will be able to save. Okay. And these 2 things might kind of go hand in hand. So part of the way for you to get financially filled up is also for you to practice savings. So as you make money, designating a portion of it to go into savings, right? And not spending your money immediately when you get it, being really strategic about where your money goes and how you save your money and things like that. But again, I just kind of get this vibe that it's also a journey, a path that you're on. So maybe you're really not at the point yet where you can save. I know I can relate to this because, like I said, I've talked about it a few times, but this new path that's unfolding is moving. And, sometimes at the beginning of a new path, we are kind of like, a little bit scrappy about how things are going along. So we can feel like we don't have as much of a cushion when we're, and this can apply even to like something like a new relationship or just anything new in our life. We don't really have a cushion to fall back on when it's so brand new, right? It takes time to kind of develop the practices, the habits, the attitudes, the confidence is a big part of that too. And the comfort to be like, yeah, I got this, So I think that right now you're kind of like bringing the energy into form. It is becoming physical because we've got Pentacles here, but you're starting to kind of collect the energy right now. And obviously you do want to get to a place where you feel like you have more of it and that you can save it and feel like it's generating its own life force energy. But I think for right now, it's okay to just be like in that space of like, yep, I collect this, I collect that. I'm going to assess if I should give out my energy to this or if I should give my energy to this person, because you're very clear that you're tracking towards this vibe. So you do have to be strategic right now about your resources and your energy and what you're doing, right? And then we have the freedom of truth, communicate honestly, be who you truly are. I love this card so much. I had this card set out for myself for a while because to me, this is a lot about communication, workshops, sharing your information to the masses, being a steward of light, communicating through the throat chakra and the heart about things that matter to you and that are important for you. But I am also getting like a slightly different message for you guys with this card, which is that, in the ways that you're trying to get to this place of more financial security, there might be times where you have to speak up more. You have to ask for more of what you need, and not being afraid to say, you know what, I'm sorry, or maybe don't even say sorry. You know what, that's not going to work for me. That's different than what I'm looking for. I've done a lot of research or time or energy on this topic, and this is where I stand with it, And again, I feel like that's a positive manifestation of the 4 of Pentacles card is understanding like the Four of Pentacles card to me is also an energy about investing. When we're not giving out the energy, we're also looking at where am I investing it in? So sometimes, and this goes both ways, right? Because sometimes we also have to be mindful that we do have to at times invest in things in order to receive. But this is just about kind of being strategic and being open and honest with people about what your needs are. If they're not being given to you, what could you do to speak up about having your needs be met? And also being strategic about what it is that you need to do to save or invest to better yourself, to get to this place of feeling more abundant. Okay. And I also feel like this is an energy here of, let's see what comes up in the Astro Dice, but this is an energy here of being on top of things, being proactive, but not in a way that like super duper omega exhausts you, making sure that you're proactive, but you're also taking breaks. It's like a big part of this. Okay. So let's get from the Astro Dice. I'm going to roll 3 times. Interesting. So we got another sun card here. So we have sun. Pile 1 also got the sun, not the sun, the sun die, I should say. So you have sun in the 10th house, okay, in Gemini. So a lot of communications going on here, sun in Gemini. Throat chakra being really illuminated. That actually came up in that one card. So there might be a lot of conversations, a lot of networking, a lot of emails, contracts, messages. I know that's been my life, especially this Venus retrograde. It's been like a lot with that. And then the 10th house. So this is a public house. This relates to work and career. So there might be a lot that's going on in your kind of public work career space. Okay. I know that I can really relate to this. So, there's a lot of communications, a lot of meeting people, exploring things, talking to people about things. This could be an energy here of emails, messages, social media, contracts, like all this kind of stuff, a lot of busy energy. Okay. And because this is 10th house, this is definitely related to kind of building something. The 10th house is about business, career, that kind of vibe. So I see this as there is a lot of communications going on. There is a lot of potential, a lot of hope here about this new path, this new direction. Okay. But because there's so much communication, that might also require of you to filter out people in that dynamic that are not worth investing in, because not all of the people you talk to, okay, are going to be worth investing in a similar way to like, not every job's going to be good for you. Okay. Not every job's going to be good for you. Not every person you try to date is going to be good for you. You're going to have to at times make decisions about who's worthy of investment here. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with taking time to assess the situation, to speak your truth about what you want or need. That's kind of going to be part of the path here. Okay. And also this could also be an energy about just filtering through a lot of information. So again, if you're, on a path where you're looking at improving your financial security, there might be something here where you have to be smart about how the resources are utilized. Are you aware of when your bills are due? Do you have a spreadsheet? Are you on top of things like that? Gemini does also relate to facts and data. Okay. So do you have the right facts and the right information to support you with being able to save your money and move forward here towards more financial security? Are you aware of how much you have on that credit card? How much is the credit limit? How much of the credit limit are you using? Right? Like being really, and sometimes it does take courage to face those numbers. Okay. Not saying that that's an easy thing, but being really clear, really factual on the true nuts and bolts of what's going on there is also going to help you with this process. Okay. But again, Our Lady of Becoming, it's a process, it's a journey. You will get there. Have patience with the process, but keep going. Okay. So that's what I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you so very much if you purchased this reading and directly supported my business that way. If you caught this in the free version where it was for free for the first 72 hours, I'm happy for you. And I also encourage you to leave a donation if you're able to. That does support my channel and my business so very much. That's me speaking up in my truth of what I need for support. And also this video is available for long-term free access for my Fearless Lake Fairy members and my Give Back Fairy members, which you can learn more about on my Patreon, which should be linked in the description there. So feel free to check that out. And of course, subscribe to this channel. You'll stay up to date with all the videos as they come out. Much love, Pile 2 peeps. Okay, Pile 3 peeps, these are the cards for you. Pile 1 and Pile 2 had really great readings. So if you were called to more than one pile, definitely go and check those out. If by chance you happen to just skip directly to this pile pick, please make sure you go back to the beginning, because I do talk about some really important things. And I also do a channeled reading for kind of the collective, just kind of mini version of that, but it was also really powerful. And I definitely encourage you to check that out. So these are the cards for Pile 3. So let's see what we've got for you guys. And there was a pretty clear kind of vibe coming out for, oh, this is beautiful energy here for you guys. Love it. So there's a pretty clear vibe coming out for kind of the first 2 piles. And I'm always curious to see kind of like how things align across the piles. And yours is definitely related to some of that energy, but also has a little bit of a vibe of its own. Let's get another card here from the Secret Garden cards for you guys. Beautiful. Let's do one more. And I'm feeling called to just do like another thing, but we'll see kind of where we get to as I'm channeling for you guys. So we have potential. I pulled this card a while back and it gave me so much hope, but I really needed it. The littlest key can open the heaviest door. The littlest key can open the heaviest door. Grow, all flowers must grow through dirt. So there is this really strong vibe for people that pick this pile about growth and the potential that exists, because I see a lot of energy here about kind of like the star. So you have Stargate of Lyra, card number 40, expand your causal chakra, enter the unicorn kingdom. And I will read from the guidebook for this one. And then you do also have from the Mother Mary deck, Our Lady of the Star Blossom, card number 20. So you have the word star here twice. Okay, so the star card in the tarot is about having hope and faith that, you know, like we wish upon a star. We look to the stars as kind of like this magical thing, right? So having hope and a little bit of magical momentum and inspiration that what you want is coming true. Okay, and the star card, yeah, it just brings in that energy of like, have hope in your dreams, have hope that things are working in your favor, that you'll be okay. And this is kind of coming up twice here in your reading, and I'll go in deeper into these 2 cards in the guidebook. Okay, but I also see this reflected in your tarot cards as well, and even your goddess card. It's across the whole spread, because we have, I'm not sure if that's an S. I think that's an S. I will find out when I get to the guidebook. Hsi Wang Mu, renewal. Okay, so we have this card here of renewal. And then we have the Magician and the 6 of Swords. So there is this energy here about, and this was coming up for all 3 piles, about this new path and believing in this new path. It's just each pile had a different energy message, a different kind of like support message related to that kind of vibe. So for you guys, there's this clear energy here about moving forward, that this fresh start has occurred, is occurring, okay? And that you are moving forward. The 6 of Swords is leaving behind more difficult, more turbulent waters and going into smoother waters. You could see like in the card, like how choppy the water is here, but then up ahead where they're going, okay, the water is smooth and kind of clear. So, you know, it's moving forward here. And you can even see a little bit of like a dawn breaking in the way background of the card as well. And then we got the Magician, which is, all of the elements of the tarot represented. We have the cup, we have the pentacles, we have the swords, okay? And we also have the wands. So we have all of the tools, we have all of the ability to make this manifestation happen. Now, this could also be an energy about desiring to move or to relocate, because this is Six of Swords as well. So you are manifesting this move, this relocation here too, okay? But it's also an energy at the same time of it not being here yet, because we have the words potential and grow. So this whole situation has enormous potential to grow and move you forward, okay? And then again, with those kind of star card vibes, that is an energy about having hope, having faith in the process, because, it's not here yet, but you're on the path, you're manifesting it, you're moving this forward. So let's get some more oomph from the guidebook for some of these cards, because some of them have much deeper messages here. So we have, oh yes, it is an S. So, and it's interesting too. So we pulled two different Chinese goddesses in this pile pick tonight, which is pretty cool. So it says, Goddess Hsi Wang Mu shares her secret elixir for eternal life and renewal with you. Take this chance to either start over or put extra effort into what you're focused on. And it's interesting too, at the bottom of this page, there is a fox, okay? So to me, fox in the Lenormand is, and I mean, I always kind of associate fox with kind of like Seven of Swords, which sometimes can be a shadowy energy, but Seven of Swords can also be an energy about being cunning and practical and kind of working things a little bit behind the scenes to kind of work some magic too, if you are stepping into the energy of it, right? It definitely has a negative aspect, but it can also have a positive aspect too. So I see this as you kind of being like crafty and clever, like the fox, being very clever about manifesting this new path and getting to this, bigger move that you want to happen here. Okay. Now let's get from these cards. So, with this Stargate of Lyra, this is like, you can see that the unicorn is kind of above the earth, and there's like a lot of different chakras represented here. And in particular, we've got, this energy radiating out of their crown and kind of going down as like a pillar into the unicorn and into the earth. So let's see what we've got with this one here. So this is card number 40. And it says, Lyra is a magnificent cross-shaped stargate between this universe and others. Beyond it lies the Unicorn Kingdom. Archangel Christiel, never heard of that archangel, sounds amazing. Archangel Christiel, the wondrous white angel of peace, overlights it. This card invites you to visit the Unicorn Kingdom through the Stargate of Lyra. It was so funny. It was like, look how blazing it is, just in light. It's even coming through with the card. Ask your unicorn to take you there, and Archangel Christiel will open the gate for you. When you enter, feel the ocean of tranquility and love as thousands of unicorns surround you, pouring pure white Christ light over you. This purifies your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. Then they stream light into your third eye to expand it and to awaken it to higher possibilities. There's a bit more there, and then it says, this is also a card of higher service. It invites you to develop your causal chakra above and slightly behind your crown. Okay, so here and kind of a little bit back, so that it lights up and becomes a portal through which unicorns can enter Earth. To help you, Archangel Christiel will send a finger of his light via the moon to the spiritual center. His light will be stepped down to a frequency that it can accept and will open and activate your personal gateway to the angelic realms. Focus on this transcendent chakra and see it glowing above you like a personal moon so that unicorns can come through it to Earth. My causal chakra is a unicorn portal, is the affirmation. So this is a no joke unicorn card here, you guys. So, if you pick this card, it's saying that you have the ability to channel this pure love frequency from kind of this stargate, this unicorn energy into your body and channel it out. So a couple messages I'm getting with this is taking time to spend in moonlight. You do have the word star coming up twice. So, do some stargazing, spend some time looking at the night sky, spend some time kind of basking in the moon's energy, because I think that'll be really supportive for you. It'll connect you with your emotions and kind of that really feminine energy, which also helps us with our manifestations, okay? There also could be an energy here too about working with Archangel Haniel, Haniel. She's an archangel that relates to the moon and the divine feminine and the cycles and rhythms. She's also related to our menstrual cycles as well. Okay. So there's like a really strong life force energy from this card. And I even just got like a big kind of like jolt in my body as I said that. So I do think that there's a lot of power with this card combined with this card. Okay. That you have the ability to like emanate this really powerful light stream to kind of like channel through you energy and bring things into form. And I mean, we have the cards here with grow and potential. So this could also be saying that even you are not fully aware yet of like your fullest potential with this manifestation, with this ability to do and create and these things. Like, I think you're still learning about your potential here, you know? So I would encourage kind of balancing the elements, like balancing the yin and the yang energy. So sunlight and moonlight, you know, grounding as well as looking up at the stars, you know, and it's not all the time that I recommend people kind of work with the crown chakra. Usually I'm giving advice more like root chakra up to here. But for you guys, it might actually be a benefit to work more with the crown chakra, meditating, connecting with the divine to get answers and information, you know, and you can also work with very crown chakra, like crystals, like lepidolite's a good one, you know, amethyst, even those two alone would be like really great. You can work with like a super 7, which is like a combo of amethyst and other crystals in there. I'm even hearing for some of you, although that's more heart chakra, but like kunzites or your pink tourmalines, again, more heart chakra, but could also work in combination with those very nicely. So we have card number 20, Our Lady of the Star Blossom. So now this card has definitely this much softer blue vibe, which to me is very throat chakra, you know, and it's kind of got that like cherry blossom energy in the background too. So this kind of to me carries an energy about spring, and maybe you'll find that there's some type of new initiation that's occurring for you at kind of the spring equinox, you know, which will come up on March 20th, right in there. So let's see what we've got here for this card. This is the wrong deck. That's like something's not right. Okay. So card number 20. And again, I'll just reiterate the fact that this whole reading, this whole pile pick video that I've been making tonight has been so gentle and calm and loving in its frequency. And to me, that is just Mother Mary to a T. It's strong, it perseveres, but it has this like stable, calm, reassuring vibe. So I do feel like March is going to be opening up to more of that frequency, notwithstanding the world events I talked about at the beginning. But on kind of like an interpersonal level, finding more of that like reassuring, self-mothering, self-loving energy is going to be like a really important energy for March, okay? And it's interesting too, because as we go into Pisces season, we have Jupiter transiting in Pisces now. So there is a lot of expansion around the heart chakra right now. Having compassion, having oneness, the ability to give back is really important here. So we have card number 20, Our Lady of the Star Blossom. I bring you sweet tidings of heavenly grace from the star-filled heavens. There are spiritual beings of great wisdom and love that wish to assist you now. These beings love you unconditionally and will only come to your aid if asked. I am with you, and I shall always be, even when you ask for assistance from other loving beings also. Together we can assist you. These loving beings, through me, share this message with you. Ask us for assistance, and we shall not hesitate to bring our great power to your aid. We all wish for the same result, for love to be made fully manifest. Ask for our help, beloved, and all shall benefit. One of the simplest and most powerful spiritual techniques available to everyone is to ask for help each day from the guidance that loves you unconditionally. You may have a clear sense of who your guidance is, but more likely than not, you are not so sure. That doesn't matter at all, fortunately enough. Higher spiritual guidance operates on a win-win basis. Whatever you ask for your higher guidance assistance with will benefit the entire human race. Our Lady of the Star Blossom also brings healing of an old wound of separation. We may have been conditioned to believe that our personal success could only come at the cost of the happiness or comfort of others. Perhaps we have felt pressured or undermined by those that purport to love us and yet want to hold us back from our spiritual growth because they are scared of their own spiritual path or becoming something, themselves. Or perhaps they try to shame us if we do not have the house clean when they would like, or because we have asked the children to make their own lunches in the morning while we are meditating. Our Lady of the Star Blossom tells us that no matter whether others may like it at first or ever, when we grow spiritually, everyone benefits. She asks you to surrender any hesitation about your spiritual growth and embrace it wholeheartedly. She asks you to call upon her and your guidance to help you and your loved ones walk the divine path that we're all on with more loving trust and grace. She asks you to not feel ashamed or guilty for having a need for spiritual growth. So there's a lot more to it. Like I said, this guidebook is extremely robust. As Alana Fairchild's decks always are, which is really great. So a big message that I'm getting from this in combination with this card here is that if you pick this pile, there is almost like a big upswing in your crown chakra capabilities, your ability to grow spiritually at this time. And I think that there's two parts to that. So one part is that you would benefit from spending time meditating or doing automatic writing where you can communicate with these guides that are wanting to come through and give you information and spiritual guidance right now. Another part of it is that if you are doing that work, or even if it's just showing up in yoga or in prayer or whatever that looks like to you for spirituality, not to feel guilty that you are taking time to invest in that, Jupiter being in Pisces is expanding a lot of energy around spirituality and oneness, but the shadow side of Pisces can be guilt and shaming. So, there is this energy here about not feeling like you have to feel guilty or shame yourself for taking time out of your day to invest in those spiritual things. It's just as important as the other work you have to do that day. And it's okay if not everybody gets it or not everybody understands it. As long as you do, and you kind of hold that own, if you hold that power, that force within you that yes, this is something of priority, that's really all that matters, because I see this as you moving forward on this path of manifestation, okay? With the Magician and the Six of Swords, there's definitely an energy here about forward movement and manifestation. And if anything, you guys really would just benefit from taking more time for your spiritual practices, is something I'm seeing here, because I feel like your guides have things that they want to share with you, communicate with you to maybe help you on this process. And maybe you're not always taking time to be receptive to that. So making sure that you are taking time for your spiritual practices is a big message for you guys here, as well as just an overall thumbs up from the universe, a vote of encouragement that yes, the stars are aligning, things are working in your favor, the manifestations you want are coming, they're moving forward now, okay? So let's pull just, this is like a little anti-anxiety kind of deck that I cut up and printed out from someone that does healing work. Her website is healingnotes.com, I think. She's really amazing. I love her work. So let's get, of course I pulled the instructions. Let's get a little card from this to kind of finish up here. These cards don't shuffle like other cards do because they're, all right, we got way, way, way too many. Okay, that's good. We'll take that one. So we have, I can feel anxious and still deal with the situation. I can feel anxious and still deal with the situation. Let's get one more there. Today, I will focus on progress, not perfection. And let's just get one more. It's funny, I said I don't want them all, and now I'm like, oh, let's do it. And then we have grounding techniques, instructions. Practice these techniques when you're slightly anxious. So this is kind of also part of the instructions, but we can interpret this as just like a reminder about grounding. So I see this as there could be some anxiety about how this path is going to manifest. Maybe this thing that you want to move towards feels very far away. Maybe it feels really elusive to you, like, how am I going to get there? How long is it going to take? And there could be some anxiety that goes along with that. There could be some guilt or shaming that the process is taking maybe a little bit longer than you'd like. So I feel like this is, again, just providing support and encouragement that it's okay to be, sometimes taking steps forward and then you take a step back. It's okay to be a little bit bumpy or a little bit messy in the process of bringing this bigger manifestation, this bigger move into form. Okay. And again, I just think that taking time for your spiritual practices, which in a way could be very grounding, will also help you with aligning towards this path and this new purpose that you're following with this manifestation. Okay. Oh, finally, let's do the astro dice for you guys. Almost forgot. So we have Sagittarius in the 5th house, super fire energy there. 5th house is a Leo ruled house relating to children and entrepreneurship. And then we also have Pluto. Okay. So yeah, Sagittarius here definitely relates to movement, kind of like wanderlust. You have a desire to kind of travel. There's definitely like strong, like moving, travel, relocating vibes here. With the 5th house, this does relate to pleasure and joy, children. So maybe there's something that you perceive or see. I know I can relate to this. There's something that you perceive or see that you want to pursue, like somewhere to live or somewhere to go or somewhere to travel to. And you really understand that that location, that place would bring you a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. Okay. With Pluto here, it's just indicating that you will have the strength and the perseverance to get there, to get to where you want to be. With the Sagittarius vibe, though, it's going to be a little bit of a journey. Okay. But just seeing that Pluto there, I'm encouraged that it's like you will have the ability, the strength to persevere, to get through this journey, to get to where you want to be. Okay. But even just with the 5th house too, like focusing on play in the meantime until you kind of get to that journey is also something that could be really helpful as well. So that's what I have for you, pile 3 peeps. I'm sending you so much love and light. If you did purchase this video, thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting my spiritual business and my channel. It means so much to me. And if you caught this on the free window, thank you for being on my channel. I encourage people to still leave donations. You can do that. There should be a link in the description box. I also would add that this video will be available long-term for my Fearless Late Fairy members, as well as my Give Back Fairy members. So if you'd like to check out those membership groups, check them out on my Patreon page. I'm just looking because my battery is like getting ready to die. We should be okay though until the end of this video. Check them out on my Patreon page, which you can see in the description. You can learn all about those. And I'm sending you guys so much love and light. I hope that you have a wonderful March, and make sure you're subscribed to my email newsletter because that's where you'll get first access to these videos, as well as all the latest in blog posts that I'm writing and sales that I'm doing and all that good stuff. So I will see you guys soon. Much love.